Be strong.
Hey guys, welcome back to Hope with Jonathan. And I really appreciate everybody's support. I appreciate everybody watching, all the feedback. Guys, if you would, if you're watching this, please click the share button, start a watch party. Tonight we have a very special guest. I'm really excited to have him, Mr. Shane Blanchard, all the way from the state of Iowa. I'm all the way down here in Texas, so pretty good distance from us. But anyway, Shane has an incredible story, guys. We met up. Actually, I think we kind of met each other on the app TikTok, which has become very, very, famous right now. It's a very popular application. A lot of kidney warriors are on there, believe it or not. And me and Shane have been, we've been advocating for Shane, and me and Shane have kind of talked a little bit behind the scenes. But guys, he's got an amazing story, and I'm really looking forward to interviewing Shane. And so I'm not going to waste any more time, guys. I'm gonna bring on our special guest, Mr. Shane Blanchard. Greetings, Shane. How are you doing?
I'm doing perfect. How are you doing?
I'm doing well, sir. Doing well, sir. I really appreciate you coming on and doing the interview with me.
Yeah, I appreciate you having me on. This is great.
Yeah. So I seen you on TikTok, and I think you kind of seen me on TikTok as well, and I think that's how we kind of got to know each other a little bit.
Yeah, I think I came across one of your videos actually, and seen that on there, but about Hope with Jonathan, and I liked that, and then I commented to you on there, and just by the blessings of God, we connected. So it's wonderful.
Yeah, it's definitely awesome. It's definitely been an awesome connection, and it's a privilege and honor to be able to try to help you out and try to advocate for you and help you find a living donor for transplant. And guys, Shane has an amazing story. He also has a Facebook page. Shane needs a kidney donor, and you can find that on Facebook. Again, guys, that's Shane needs a kidney donor. So please check that out. And guys, I wanna go ahead and let Shane kind of tell us a little bit about himself and a little bit about his story.
Yeah, so I mean, I'm 46 years old right now, but I was born in 74, and I was born with a very rare disorder called Eagle-Barrett syndrome. Another name for it's called prune belly syndrome. Just means really that I was born without abdominal muscles. I don't have stomach muscles. So my life was all about back muscle. But one of the side effects of having Eagle-Barrett syndrome is you are born where your urinary tract's a little bit messed up. So when I was an infant, They had to do some reconstruction down there on my urinary tract. Granted, the doctors did a wonderful job. I had great doctors at the University of Iowa Hospital. I didn't have any kidney issues until later on in life, until I was 21 years old. The crazy thing is that when they tested me back then in my 20s, they did not realize that I was in kidney failure, or I'm sorry, when I was in my teens. They thought because I was in great shape, I worked out a lot, I wrestled, I played some sports and stuff, but they said I was probably in kidney failure since I was 18 years old. I just didn't realize it until later on in life, because I got so sick. My creatinine got as high as a 13. I mean, right now my creatinine runs at a 9.5. So you could see my creatinine was really high before anything even affected me. But when I was 21, I was in kidney failure, and my brother, Todd, came forward and gave me a kidney. And I had that transplant in September 1997. And I was 22 at the time, and he was 25 at that time. And that kidney lasted me a long time. I've been able to do a lot of things, and I've been blessed with a great life since he extended my life, those 23 years. And that's how long that kidney lasted, was 23 years, which is pretty good. When I was 45, I started to run its course. The kidney started to break down, and so ended up needing another transplant. And at that time, my best friend, Brad Hendrickson, came through to donate a kidney to me. And so November of 2019, he donated to me. Unfortunately, things didn't work out in the end, and that kidney had to be removed 21 days later. And so I ended up with a lot of unfortunate circumstances after that, where they went in, they took it out, and then they put it back in, and they took it out again and put it back in, because they were trying to fix the kidney, and just ended up not working. But as a result of that, I ended up getting a bacteria infection in my blood, and so I was in the hospital there for about 5 months.
So
when
guys,
I went in the
guess Shane's having a little bit of technical difficulties. Shane, can you hear me?
Yeah, can you hear me okay?
So guys, Shane has an incredible story. Hopefully he can come back in. Shane, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you just fine.
Okay, you froze up just a little bit.
Okay,
That's
where was
okay.
I at?
I want you to continue.
Where was I at?
You were talking about your second transplant.
So my second transplant, I got that from my best friend, Brad Hendrickson, and that was in November of 2019.
Okay.
Unfortunately, can you hear me okay?
Yes, sir.
Okay, unfortunately, it ended up not working out because they had to do some other procedures on that, and they took it out and put it back in, took it out again and put it back in, so 3 times.
Oh wow.
Finally it didn't work. So they took the kidney out, and then I ended up where the kidney was connected in a vein. I ended up bleeding out into my stomach, and so then they had to go in and put a stent. And anyway, I'm not going to get into the whole story. I ended up with a bacteria infection, and I was in the hospital for 5.5 months. And so the reason I bring this up is because now I'm in need of a kidney. But the issue here is I cannot have from a cadaver, because of all those surgeries and procedures I went through. I had 7 blood transfusions during that whole ordeal, which raised my antibodies up. And it's on a percentage scale. It's 99.9%. You can imagine that's 100% as far as it goes, and I'm at 99.9. So if I was to receive a kidney from a deceased person, my body would reject it right away. So I have to match up with somebody not only by blood type, but by antibodies, blood serum. You know how everything goes, Jonathan. But I've got to have that one person. It's a needle in a haystack. The likelihood of me finding a donor, of just waiting for somebody to come through the list is rare and not good. So I've got to find a living donor, and that's why I wanted to do this and get my name out there. If anybody's willing to do anything, I would greatly appreciate it.
Okay, sure. Wow, man, you've been through a lot. I mean, you sound like you've really had a lot of experience with kidney failure, and then 2 transplants. So man, you've really faced a lot, and it sounds like that God has definitely been with you through your journey.
Well, he's definitely got a plan for me. I mean, I know there's a lot of people out there that have gone through much, much worse than I have. And so I don't
Yeah.
look at me as saying, oh, poor me, because it's not that way. There's so many other people out there
Right.
that are going through far worse than I am. But I know that this is a
Yes.
testimony that God is going to use for me to reach others and to give others hope. And
Oh, for
so,
sure.
I look at this as something that God is building me up to,
Yeah.
or something God's building me up for, so I can speak to other people and let them know, hey, I've gone through this, and you're going to be okay, and put your
Sure.
trust in the Lord.
Yes. After I came out, of my kidney failure, came out of the ICU, and my experience with kidney disease, kidney failure, I had to hang on to hope and really hang on to my support groups and my family, and I had a lot of people that prayed and believed for me, and man, I knew that God had saved me for a reason, and to use my personal experience and testimony, if you will, to help others and help others like yourself, and to bring hope and encouragement to those in need. So
Yeah,
most
100%.
definitely, I believe God has a plan. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's the thing that is really important, is support and people that are there to back you up. And my family has been wonderful to me. Where I work at, they have been absolutely wonderful to me. I can only, because I do dialysis 3 days a week, the other 3 days I'm working. And I'm just blessed to have an employer that's allowing me to keep working there on the days I don't have dialysis, and able to earn a living and keep a career. Like I said, I'm fortunate. A lot of people can't do that. So I'm very fortunate that I'm able to. But the support group is very
Yeah.
important, because this is a roller coaster. I mean, I've had a lot of up and downs. I stay positive, I stay optimistic, I keep myself lifted up, but there's days too where it's like, is there going to be light at the end of the tunnel? And I know there is,
Yeah.
but mentally it is exhausting and it is troublesome. I've been doing, dialysis now 18 months, and that includes, the 21 days that I had my best friend's kidney, because I still had to keep doing dialysis during that time.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it can be frustrating. There's no doubt about it, and it can definitely be an overwhelming experience. And I remember going on dialysis myself. It was like a lightning bolt hit me and turned me upside down. I mean, my whole life was changed in a matter of days, and
Yeah.
I wasn't prepared to go on dialysis. I actually woke up in the ICU on dialysis because I was an emergency situation. So
Sure.
for myself, it was a very overwhelming, life-changing, life-altering experience. So
It
yeah,
is, and
I can
it's a
sympathize.
cycle. Yeah, and it's a cycle that we lived. I mean, on Mondays and Wednesdays, Monday, Wednesday, Friday are the days that I had dialysis. I'm sure you had a similar schedule, but those 3 days a week, I'm
Yeah,
no good. I'm just tired. I mean, I get done with I go in at 6 in the morning, and I'm not done until 10 o'clock.
yeah,
I'm dead tired,
yeah,
and
yeah. Oh, no doubt.
sleep the day
It'll
away.
completely. Oh yeah, I would come home and nap, and my kids would come and ask, where's Dad at? Where's Dad? And Dad's in bed because he just got home from dialysis. So
Right.
yeah, it totally would zap me of any energy, any extra energy that I had.
Right.
So
And the reason, for those that aren't familiar with dialysis, is because it's kind of like running a marathon. The thing about dialysis is they'll take anywhere from 3 to 6 pounds of fluid off of you. So imagine yourself working out so hard that you have to sweat 3 to 6 pounds of fluid off, and imagine how you're going to feel after that. That's what dialysis does, because it takes that much fluid off of you, and it
yeah,
just wears you down. And it's like you just ran a
yeah.
complete marathon for 4 hours straight.
Exactly. And it totally only way I can explain to you is it, imagine if you worked a 12-hour shift doing a heavy lifting type of, really backbreaking work for 12 hours. Imagine that kind of feeling that you feel when you come home and you just want to lay down and you don't want to talk to anybody. You don't want to be messed with. You just want to relax or
Yeah.
go to
Yeah.
bed.
Yeah. And that's what I do. Now,
So that's the
the
only way
crazy
I can
thing
explain it.
Right. And I'm usually really hungry afterwards. I don't know if anybody else has experienced that, but when I'm done, I'm kind of hungry. So it takes me 30
Yeah.
minutes to get home from dialysis. By the time I get here, I'm eating and then I'm sleeping.
Yep. Yep. Well, guys, if you don't know, Shane already did dialysis earlier today, and so he was, this is how dedicated he is in his kidney searches. He's, able to come on and do this interview with me. So I think that's awesome. He needs to be commended for that, for sure. To overcome that, to be able to come on and do this interview is amazing.
Yeah, I ended up not making it in there this morning because I hit my alarm. Thought I was going to rest my eyes for
Yeah.
5 minutes, and it ended up being 2 hours later. So I went in at
Oh, yeah.
1 o'clock this afternoon, and then I got home here about 15 minutes before you and I went on. So
Yeah.
um, I'm surprised I'm as
Yeah.
energized as I am, but I feel fine. I feel good.
It happens. It happens. Hey guys, we have a lot of people watching right now. I want to say hello to a few folks out there. Kay Blanchard, hello. Thanks for watching.
That's my mom.
Patty. Okay. Thanks for watching, guys. I really appreciate the commenting. Kyle Hockridge, how are you doing? Amanda Williams, thank you for watching, guys. I really appreciate the support. If you would, guys, please share this. Share this with your friends. Start a watch party if you can. I really would appreciate it. Shane would appreciate it. And again, guys, on the banner, clicking down below, as you can see, has Shane information for his transplant center, the phone number, and his blood type. And he also has a Facebook page, a separate Facebook page called Shane Needs a Kidney Donor. So you guys can go there and definitely check that out for more information. Shane, where are you currently listed at?
I'm currently listed at the University of Iowa Hospital and Clinics in Iowa City.
Okay.
And that's actually
And
from where I was an infant until now, where I've actually had all my procedures done over my life. So except for the last transplant, that was at a different hospital. But I learned from that and moved back to Iowa City, and so now I'm in the right place, and they're wonderful there.
okay. Okay. Thanks for watching, Melissa. Appreciate it. We've got a lot of people watching, Shane, so that's great. You always can use the extra support, and guys, I really appreciate it. So you heard it first where he's listed at in Iowa there. And if you're interested, guys, again, his information's scrolling below. You can always go to his Facebook page, Shane Needs a Kidney. Hey, Shane, why don't you tell everybody out there what your dialysis is like? So you're on what, dialysis?
Yeah, I do hemodialysis, and what it is, it's here I got the Popeye arm, and here I got the regular arm. So what happens is that
Yeah,
I've got a graft that I don't have a normal fistula. They had to, because I've got small veins, so they ended up having to put a graft in, which you could say is a plastic tube that's hooked up to my arteries in my
right.
arm. So there's two needles that go in. There's one that takes the blood out, and there's one that puts the blood back in, and it just basically it filters your blood as your kidneys would do for 24 hours. It's like an oil filter on a car. So this dialysis machine actually filters my blood, and it takes all the fluid out, 4 to 6 pounds of fluid, depending on how much I drink. But and then it puts it right
Yeah,
back in my body, and it does that in about 4 hours. So I only get kidneys for 4 hours every day and a half, and so that's where the draining
yeah,
comes from. But that's how the dialysis does work. It's amazing
yeah.
technology, to be honest. It's
Oh,
amazing
yeah,
what they.
yeah, yeah. It was like a science experiment, really. If you watch it, it's like watching science happen. It's really
Right. Yeah.
cool.
Yeah. Now,
Yeah.
prior to this, my first 6 months of dialysis, I was doing peritoneal, which is what they do through the
Okay.
abdomen, and I
Oh,
really
wow.
enjoyed that. Yeah, that's peritoneal is a fluid that goes in your stomach. It's kind of like if you've ever put salt on strawberries and let it set for an hour, it draws all the nutrients out. Well, what happens on
Yeah.
peritoneal dialysis is that fluid goes in your stomach and it draws out all the toxins and the fluids in your body, and then it drains out overnight. And you do that over a 12-hour period. Unfortunately, because of all the surgeries that I had, I have so much scar tissue that I can't do the peritoneal anymore. So now I'm back on hemodialysis, which is what I did in my 20s.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so peritoneal and hemodialysis are, yeah, like night and day. With the
Yeah.
home dialysis, you got to have room for the boxes, the
Yeah.
machine, and all that stuff.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yep.
and
And I've got
you
a
got to be.
closet I cleaned out. Oh,
Okay,
go ahead.
okay. I was just going to say, talk about, all the things that they teach you about being sterile and the hand washing and all that stuff. It's a real commitment.
Yeah, it is. And you've got to, you got to make sure that you take care of yourself because you don't want peritonitis because that's a horrible thing to catch. So you got to make sure that you're
Yeah,
really sanitized and that you're clean and that the area you're using is clean. And yeah, you
yeah,
got to have storage because you're storing 30 days worth of medical equipment in your home. And so it's definitely a big undertaking, but I enjoyed it
yeah,
myself because I had more time. I could work full time. Unfortunately, with the hemo, you got to go into a clinic and do it that way, unless you do it from home. But I
yeah,
don't, I can't do it from home now. So
yeah. Well, I did do it from home, and it was definitely not for the faint of heart. It was a lot of work, a lot of
yeah,
setup, a lot of things that entailed into it. An hour to set up the machine and stuff like that, and had to have room for all the boxes, and had to learn all the codes on the machine and all that stuff. And
right.
my wife was actually able to actually learn how to stick me and all that. So, but luckily, by the grace of the Lord, I was able to get a transplant, and I didn't have to stay on it for too long. But I did do about 10 months in center, which was kind of a crazy ordeal as well. It's one of the things, one of the turning point for me was COVID, because when COVID got real serious back in like February, March. Um, I decided to go on home hemo. So, but speaking of COVID, have you had any issues with COVID?
I haven't. I try to be very, very careful. I go to
Yeah,
dialysis, I go home, and then I hang out in an office at work. Sometimes I'll
yeah,
have customers that I'll deal with, but
yeah,
at the same time, I'm cautious on making sure I'm separated and
yeah,
I try to be smart and try to live smart and
yeah.
it's the things you have to do because if I get COVID, I don't you don't know what's going to happen as a transplant patient. I've
Oh
heard of
yeah.
some people that's made it and I've heard of some people that haven't made it. And I don't want to flip that 50-50 coin. So I'm careful with it.
No. Oh, for sure, because of our immune system too.
Yeah.
You have a low immune system as well as I do. I right now I'm on immunosuppressants because I am a transplant patient. So,
Right.
my immune is next to nothing. So, I'm definitely careful. As a matter of fact, I was going to ask you, are they offering you guys the vaccine yet, or anything
You know,
like that?
the dialysis clinic isn't offering the shot. And I think that's probably due to the fact of the temperature that you have to store it at. But they are setting us
Uh-huh.
up with the clinic in Atumwa or in the clinic in the town that I do my dialysis. They're setting us up to get the
Yeah.
shot. So I know myself, I'm interested in the Moderna one just because of
Yep.
what I've studied about it. It's again, there's
Yep.
a lot of places out there that suggest to get it, and then there's some places saying suggest not. Um,
Yep.
I don't know. I mean, it's everybody has different opinions. Myself, I'm going to
Yep.
get it because
Yep.
at the end of the day, I'm not going to take a chance on a 50-50 coin flip. I think that my chances are good. I trust the shot from a lot of people that
Yep.
I've seen that's got it. They've been okay. I know you yourself, you're doing fine. So yeah, I'm
Yep.
gonna I'm gonna get the shot
Yep.
and and I'm fine with it. I'm not worried about it because I trust in the Lord. So I'm not, I trust in God, but at the same time, you got to make good decisions. You want to say, I trust God, I won't get COVID. But if you go out and go to a COVID party where there's a whole bunch of people and you catch it, well, that's on you for not living a smart life. So I'm going to
Right.
get the shot.
Yeah. And I felt the same way. I felt like my team wouldn't mislead me on it. I felt like, being that I have a very smart and very educated, strong team, transplant, staff. They contacted me, offered me the shot, which it was the Moderna, and
Yep.
I knew right away. And I prayed about it. I said, God, what do I need to do about this? And I felt good about it. I just had a good feeling to go ahead and take it. So
Right.
I took it, and I'm about 4 days post, and I feel great. I feel fine. So I haven't really had any major side effects, but everybody's
Yeah.
telling me the second dose is where the side effects may come into play. So it's a
Sure.
wait and see.
Well, it's the Moderna is where there's actually been studies on transplant patients and dialysis patients. The Pfizer didn't have as many. They had a little bit, but not a lot. That's why when I look for the one that's the best to go for me, that's why the Moderna is because of the research I've done. There's actually been some testing with those folks.
So Shane, what's your blood type?
I am an AB positive, which is universal, so I can receive a kidney from anybody. Or anybody can
Okay, so
apply
you
to
can,
donate a kidney from me. So we just got to match up on some other things, but blood type, we're good to
yeah.
go.
And you spoke earlier about a PRA level being kind of high with your antibodies. What is your PRA? Do you know?
Yeah, it was 99.9%. Is that what you're talking about? The
Okay.
antibodies?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it was
Yeah.
99.9% out of 100%. So it's pretty much up there. And again, that's due to the 7 blood transfusions I had there a year ago because of all that new blood that they put in my body. I naturally, developed antibodies and everything.
Yeah. Yeah. So you are correct. It is going to take that special person, but you know what? That special person is out there, and I really feel like that God has that select person for you because someone out there is going to match you.
Amen. Oh, I
Yeah.
agree with that
Somebody out there
100%.
is
It'll
going to match.
happen.
Yeah. And so, guys, again, Shane has his information scrolling below. And as you can see, he has a Facebook page. Shane needs a kidney donor. And guys, you should also check out some of his social media. He also is on TikTok. He does some really funny stuff. He seems like a really cool, funny guy. Is comedy one way that you kind of deal with what you're battling, what you're going through?
The thing is when I graduated high school, they did a alphabetical, an alphabet soup, and I was named under C, class clown. So I guess I've always been this way. The cool thing is on TikTok, I've had over 1 million views on that, which is kind of fun to me that I've had that many people that's enjoyed my stuff. So that's kind of cool. But I'm the kind of person that I'm a positive person. I'm an optimistic person. I want people to enjoy life and I want people to be happy. And so if I can do that by being funny and get others to laugh if they're having a bad day, then I'm going to do it. And I've had so many messages from people that have been down in the dumps or things aren't going right. And they
Yeah.
see things I've gone through and they see how I act. Well, if I can be an example to other people, that's what I'm going to be.
Oh, sure. Yeah, it's comedy is a God-given thing. It has to be laughing is good medicine, as they say.
Definitely. Yeah. And that's
Yeah.
got me through a lot. The gals that are in my clinic, they know when I'm there, it's going to be a great day because I always find a way to mess with them or find a way to joke around with them and give them a hard time. So, in fact, every time they take the gauze off me, I always get them because I always go wow like that to scare them because, as you know, this is an artery. And so it's going to squirt and
Yeah.
squirt in the air about 5 feet
Yeah,
high.
I
So
used
I
to
always
mess
like
with the
to mess with
nurses
them.
too and mess with some of the technicians as well.
Yeah.
So I
So I
can
have a
definitely
good time
understand
there.
what you're saying.
And the cool thing is at my center, I think I'm going to become an advocate for the patients there that are having issues or things like that. I'm going to be a person they can come and talk to, or that I could talk to them with new patients coming in or patients that are struggling with things. If they want to talk to somebody, and be lifted up, I'm the guy they go to within that clinic. So that's kind of
Yeah.
exciting for me to be able to help others that are going through what I'm going through.
Yeah. So Shane, does your hospital accept the paired exchange program?
They do. They do. Which is, I'll let you explain it. You probably know that one a little bit better than I do. But they do have that available, and that's one thing that they told me about. So,
Yeah. So the paired exchange program is if a donor is not an exact match for Shane, what can happen is that donor can actually donate a kidney in this program. And because they donate a kidney, Shane would not receive that kidney, but in trade for that kidney, Shane would end up receiving a kidney from basically the program, which I believe is UNOS. And they
yeah,
would be able to get Shane a kidney by that person actually donating a kidney to someone else, and it's called the paired exchange program.
Yeah, I think it just speeds the process up. So like if someone
Yeah,
donates on my behalf, then somebody that would match me, I would
yeah,
get that rather than having to wait longer because it would go to somebody else
yeah,
before me. So it just kind of puts me at the front of the
yeah,
pack is what it does. Yeah.
yeah. And it's a great program. It's a win-win, most definitely for incompatible blood types.
Yeah, and I hope that I hope that's something that people really consider doing because at the end of the day, you're still donating to me. So, doing the paired
Yeah,
exchange would be a wonderful thing because I could have 20 people come through and I might not match with anybody just because of my the antibodies. So
PRA.
that's why that paired
Yeah,
exchange, yeah, the PRA, that's why it's so important that if somebody would do that paired exchange for
yeah,
me, that would be that would be awesome.
yeah, yeah. And also, I want to mention if you Google search paired exchange, there's many articles on there that can explain in depth exactly, all the technical details on a paired exchange program. As a matter of fact, the National Kidney Foundation has an excellent write-up on the paired exchange program, so you guys can look that up. But
Sure.
man, Shane, I really appreciate you coming on. In closing, let me ask you this: what would a kidney do for you? Well, how would it change your life?
I would be able to live a normal life. And not only that, but I would live longer. Without it, I don't know how long I have. I really don't. I mean, you can turn south at any moment. So, someone coming forward to donate for me would be everything. I'd be able to work full time. I'd be able to live my life. I'd be able to go out and reach others through Christ and do the things that I want to do. And if you're thinking, what are the chances of me donating a kidney? What are my risks? They're low. Being a donor is really low. Like I said, my brother gave me one when he was 25. He's going to be 50. He's fine. My best friend Brad that gave me a kidney here a couple years ago, he's completely doing fine too. So they really run you through the ringer to make sure that donating a kidney is not going to be at risk for you. So definitely look into it, pray about it, and I would be honored and I would be glad to accept from anybody.
Thank you very much, Shane, for that. And that was definitely a great answer to that question. A lot of people don't know how to answer that question, and you did that very well. So I really appreciate that. And guys, if you would, please check out his Facebook page at Shane Needs a Kidney Donor. You can find out a lot of information on there. You can see a lot of his posters and videos that me and advocate Jeff Brown have been creating for him. And guys, if you would, if you see his posters and videos, please share them. Your share can get Shane there to a transplant. And guys, if you would, check it out, please. Shane would appreciate it, and I would appreciate it. And again, Shane, I really appreciate you coming on Hope with Jonathan. Appreciate your story, a very inspiring story. You've overcame a lot, and I'm really, really going to continue to share for you and believe for you. You've had a lot of people watching tonight, a lot of people commenting, and so that's always good. I've got great support system, brother.
I appreciate you having me on, and I thank everybody out there for watching tonight. And if you care, please share everything, and let people know because
Yeah,
I believe in God that it's going to happen. It's just a matter of when. I always like to say, it's already happened. Time just ain't caught up yet. But to get there, we need
yeah,
people to go to work.
yeah. All right, brother. Well, this is going to conclude our show again, Shane. Blanchard, guys, I really appreciate him coming on. It's been an amazing show. Another episode with Hope with Jonathan. And again, guys, if you're interested in being his donor at all, please go visit his Facebook page, Shane Needs a Kidney Donor. Again, guys, thank you very much for all the support, everyone that's been watching. It's been an awesome evening. And again, guys, take care. God bless, and take care of your kidneys out there.